Alright, what's up, y'all? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Jess, aka the Retail Therapist, and here on this channel you will find all things fashion, financial literacy, and mental health. So if those are things that interest you, please make sure y'all go and subscribe and click the bell button so y'all know when the next time I drop a video. This video is a little overdue, and I do apologize. This is a part 2 to my part 1, my Miami travel vlog. So I recently went to Miami for New Year's Eve. I just quit my job, had no income coming in. But a little update, I am still unemployed. But that's neither here nor there. But really the reason why this video is so delayed was because I've been preparing for my LMSW exam. If y'all don't know, I am a social worker. My focus was really set on that exam for the past 7 months, and I had scheduled it for February. So I just had to get that out the way. And now that it's out the way, I am here with this video. It's the beginning of 2023, and so I hope that this year has been starting off well for you guys. And I don't know about you guys, but every year I have new goals, and I sit down, I reevaluate the prior year, and I can definitely say each and every year when I do my vision board, there's always going to be some financial goals. Financial literacy is a huge passion of mine, so saving and having my money in a good place is also something that I'm very passionate about. And so the past couple years I've been very, very, very diligent on budgeting and just getting my money to a place where I can feel secure. So I want to share a couple different tips with you all that allow me to be in a position to go to Miami, live my best life with no job, no money coming in, just carefree. And yeah, if y'all see a gnat flying around, just ignore it. I'm not dirty or nothing, it's just my plant. I be overwatering it, and if you don't know, that be producing gnats apparently. I ain't know that, but let's get into it. So I got my little notes on my little iPad. I feel like I got my life together because I got an iPad, y'all. But how was I able to travel to Miami, live my best life, not have to worry about bills, with no job and no income? I do not recommend that. Disclaimer. So I want to go over my budget tips, things that I have implemented over the past 2 to 3 years that have really helped me really get my bank account and finances in order so that I can live the life that I want to live, honestly. So tip number 1 is to have an emergency savings fund. This is key. You would be so surprised how many people do not have an emergency savings. And it's really sad. I was reading something online. It said most people cannot afford a $500 emergency. And that really breaks my heart because I really feel like having an emergency saving is really the foundation to financial freedom. Because if I don't have to rely on my job, if I don't have to rely on my bank, on a loan, on credit to do the things that I need to do, that's freedom. If you ask me, I was able to quit my job because I know I had an emergency savings fund to the side to keep me afloat for the next 2 to 3 months if I need it. That's freedom to me. That job did not have me tied down like most people are tied down to their jobs. And I really cannot stress the importance of having an emergency savings fund. The rule to an emergency savings fund is to save at least 3 times your income and expenses. So if you spend $1,000 a month on bills, groceries, food, gas, you need to have at least $3,000 set aside in emergencies. And I really tell people that I work with, you want to have a savings account specifically for emergencies, or a set amount that you know is specifically for emergencies. You want this savings to be for when you're without a job, without income, you're laid off, you quit your job because of your mental health, like me, and so on and so forth. This is not an account that you just go and, oops, I need this. Oops, I need that. Oops, I overspent. And from what I learned just with working with people to set up their finances, they really would not have even needed to go get that loan or that credit card, use that credit card to pay for certain things had they had money aside specifically for emergencies or specifically for your car breaking down and things like that. I'm gonna dig a little deeper in the next tip. I really want to express the importance of having an emergency savings fund. To me, this is the foundation to financial freedom. You cannot get to wealth and you cannot get to financial freedom if you are stuck in the cycle of a job. If you are working paycheck to paycheck, and without that job, you're homeless. Without that job, your house is going into foreclosure. You're getting evicted. That is not freedom. Freedom is having a cushion. Freedom is having options, and freedom is having choices. And the way I see it is with this emergency savings, that's all that you have. And that's really why I was able to go and travel and know my bills were paid, because I already had the money set aside. I may not have had no more money coming in, but I knew my bills were good for the next few months. All right, so let's get into tip number 2. And it kind of goes into tip number 1, but it's a little bit more detailed. When I moved to Atlanta, I had this goal of renting for 1 year, and I was gonna buy a house. And when I first moved to Atlanta, I got my first big girl job right out of college. And my mom sat me down and she said, you need to get a plan for your money. You need to know exactly where your money is going every time you get paid. And I'm so glad that she did that, because I was able to really build up my savings, manage my money week to week. Instead of getting this big old check and going splurging, I was able to really set money aside for savings, for a down payment for my house, and still live the life that I wanted to live, just a little bit more structured and more manageable. So I wasn't overspending, and I wasn't spending money recklessly, which would have gotten in the way of me doing the things that I'm so proud of today. Like after a year, I was able to buy my home because I stayed on this plan. I was putting money consistently in savings. I was not always going in savings and pulling things out. Having a detailed plan really allowed me to get organized. And I think that's really the biggest issue with a lot of people. They're not organized with their money. They have one bank account, they saving money at that same bank account, they're spending money on bills at that same bank account, and their living expenses all coming out of one bank account. And that was a game changer for me. I had one account specifically for bills, one account specifically for my living expenses, and one account specifically for savings. And every time I got paid, I knew exactly how much was going into each. And I was able to make sure my bills were paid. I was able to make sure I was able to eat that week and get gas and everything else I needed to do, and still have money left over for savings. Now, when it came to savings, you really got to be detailed when it comes to savings. Again, going back to what I said earlier, putting a whole bunch of things in one pot and not really having a name for it is really what can mess you up when you do need money, or you see that you got $10,000 in this bank account. Oh, let me go splurge real quick and wipe out half of it. You really want to be specific as to how much dollars is going towards what specific issue you may be saving for. So like for me, saving for a down payment with my home, that was very important for me. Having an emergency savings was very important for me, and also traveling. So this is really why I was able to travel. Again, no income, no job, because I had money already set aside for traveling. And I knew I wasn't gonna have money coming in for the next few months. I mean, like I said, I still don't have a job right now. So I was like, you know what, let me end 2022 with a bang. I have money over here set aside specifically for traveling. Let me go ahead and use that. And that's how I was able to really go to Miami and just have a good time. My last little hoorah while I am waiting to pass this exam and while I'm waiting to find another job. And so that's something I really encourage people to do, is to know specifically what you're saving for, which is why I always tell people, know your goals. What are you working towards this year? If you don't have goals, you're just living life, and you're not executing the way you really could be. So I really encourage you all to know exactly what you're saving for, but specifically have an emergency savings fund where you are saving 3 times at minimum your income and living expenses, so that can grow. And also, if you know you travel a lot, have a specific bucket for traveling. Have a specific bucket for shopping if you love shopping. And one more thing that I have a specific bucket for is I have 3: emergency savings, traveling and splurge, and also have a maintenance fund. Maintenance bucket. So this is for like when my car breaks down. Again, I don't go into my emergency savings when I need a new tire. I go into my maintenance fund. When my tags are expired, I gotta renew them every year, I go into my maintenance fund. When I gotta pay for an oil change or whatever the case may be, all those maintenance things that I know it's gonna happen but just don't know when, I put money aside in my maintenance fund. And that way I don't have to figure out which bill am I gonna sacrifice so I can pay for this new tire. Because everything is organized, everything has a place, everything has a name. Everything that you know you have to pay for, you need to make sure it's accounted for. You need to plan for it. That way, when that time comes and you need the money, it's already there. And I would definitely say, if you're starting from zero in your savings, when you get a refund, put that in your savings. Every time I got a refund or every time I got a big lump sum of money, I would just put it in my savings and divide it into all 3 of my buckets. That way it can grow, and when I finally want to take that trip, I actually have a decent amount of money to pay for the things that I need to pay for, whether it be outfits, whether it be hotels, Airbnbs, flights, and things like that. I know a lot of people aren't as detail oriented like me, and that is something that I really want to use to help people, specifically when it comes to their finances. And so in 2023, this is a service that I'll be offering. If you are somebody who is disorganized with your money, if you don't even know how much money you're spending, if you just need a specific plan that can like really target your goals, so I'm gonna put my link to my calendar where you can schedule a call so I can just see what your goals are, how I can help, and how I can assist, and design a specific plan for you so that you can continue to live your best life but also work towards your goals at the same time. This is probably gonna have to be a separate video, but I actually took all those things that really worked for me and I designed a full packet for people to purchase. All my clients that I create a budget for gets a packet, and it's full of resources and tools that I use specifically to help me get on track with my finances. If you are interested in having your own personalized spending plan, please again click the link in my description box to schedule a consultation call, and we'll get you all set up for 2023, because in 2023 we are elevating financially, we are reaching our goals, so that we look back in 10 years and really be like, dang, I'm so glad I did that. I'm so glad I made this decision. I'm so glad I really stopped with these bad habits. We're putting ourselves in positions to be better and to be great, because that's all we're here for, honestly. I don't know about y'all, but I'm trying to be great. So the last tip that I have for you, something that really helped me be able to be in position to go to Miami with no job, no income, y'all know the drill, but something that really helped me was to have a credit card that I was able to use my membership points for to cover my flight. I was able to get an American Express Platinum card, and that's a great card specifically for people who are pretty familiar with how credit works. If you're pretty smart with money, you have a good credit score, I would say 700 and above, the Amex Platinum card would be great for you. This card is great for anybody constantly traveling in hotels, because you get so many points for buying a flight, so many points for booking a hotel, things like that. And so luckily for this trip, I did not have to pay for my flight. And mind you, I think the flights to Miami were like $400 to $600. I wasn't paying that. So I was like, you know what, I got points, let me use my points. I guess this whole tip all in all is to get your credit in order so that you can get a credit card that actually has benefits, that allows you rewards every time you spend $1. And for me, the way I use my platinum card is I pay for my bills, all my big bills, all my big purchases, things that I'm already anticipating on buying with cash, things I already have the money for in my bank account. I just use my Amex Platinum card because I get points per $1 I spend. And so every time I swipe my card, my points just kind of build up from there. And eventually you can buy things like a flight or pay for your hotel room and things like that, and not have to worry about using your actual money to pay for it. And so if you are a person who, like I said, has good credit, you're familiar with how to use your credit card, you're not just using it, oh, I need to borrow money. You are responsible and you are ready for something like that. They do have an annual fee of $695. And I know that's a lot of money. I'm not even about to sit here and act like that's not a lot of money, but that's a lot of money. But you are saving so much more money with the Platinum card, simply because, like I said, one flight to Miami was like $600, damn near. Another flight I bought, I know for a fact, was $600. So that's $1,200 already that I've saved. So it's definitely worth it, especially if you travel, especially if you're booking hotels a lot. It's definitely worth it. So those are my 3 tips. Tip number 1 is to build up your emergency savings. Build it up, build it up. I cannot stress that enough. If you're just trying to be financially secure in a better position, have an emergency savings fund. Second, have a specific spending plan, very detailed, know where your money is going, know exactly how much you need to be spending, and save specifically for the things that you know you're going to constantly be buying, constantly be participating in. And then lastly, get yourself a credit card that is going to pay you. You work hard for your money, therefore your money needs to be working for you sometimes. Sometimes your money needs to be rewarding you with the flight, rewarding you with the Airbnb. So those are my 3 tips. I really hope that these were helpful for somebody. If you guys enjoyed this content, please let me know. Press the like button, comment something, let me know that you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, please let me know. I love talking about finances. So if there's any topics that you want me to discuss in the future, please let me know and I'll be happy to try to accommodate that for y'all. But again, thank y'all so much for tuning in, and I will be back soon with another video.
Yeah.